What exactly has stood out to you so far this earnings season?
I mean, I think the big standout has got to be Target. That company not only is benefiting from the pandemic, but certainly all the things that Brian Cornell and his team have done over the last couple of years. They're all just coming together. And I think if there's a standout to me, it's Target. The other big standout, and I think we're going to see this right through the holiday, is what you said, winners and losers. I mean, I was down in Atlanta till late last night. I was tired, going through store after store after store. And one of the things that's evident is we're going into lockdown mode. Whether the government's going to do it or not, we're seeing, evidence. We're seeing cleaned out shelves, just like we did. And I think that's going to have a big impact. I think what we're going to see is e-commerce is going to fly.
Does this mean, just to follow up with you, Scott, here now, does this mean that we could see a little bit more of an issue with regard to certain types of retailers that have not adopted or kind of progressed on the digital e-commerce front as others? Target and Walmart are among those who have really done well, investors have said, with their e-commerce initiatives.
Yeah, I mentioned Best Buy too on that. Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see it. I mean, at R5, we monitor the consumer very closely. We have something called the Pleasure Index, the R5 Pleasure Index. And it actually shows consumers are dying to get out of their home. They're dying to get to that mall. The challenge is we have something called the R5 Comfort Index, and that's telling us, they're really concerned. So I think it's just what you said. The winners are going to really win here. People that we call them omni-channel superheroes. It's guys like Target, Walmart, to a lesser degree because of their customer base. Best Buy certainly fits in there. But even some of these home improvement guys like a Home Depot or Lowe's that have really worked on their e-commerce, and people they're nesting. And so I think you're going to see those win as well.
Now, with regard to the consumer behavior, we take a look at your coverage universe. You cover a lot of these consumer-based companies. You have not exactly been as bullish as many other analysts on Wall Street about them. Can you take us through what you're seeing, why you are so perhaps more cautiously optimistic about the future of the U.S. consumer as opposed to some of your peers out there who have very, very aggressive targets for some of these companies?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. And I got to tell you, as we look back on the year, one of the things we underestimated just a little bit was how long the pandemic was going to go on and how the spending would keep, going over from services. And we've seen that. I think for fundamental analysts like we are, what we're looking for is company-specific drivers, and it's been so macro. And so you look at a Target, which we just upgraded. We had a lot of company-specific issues that they're working on that should drive sales. The biggest challenge as we get to next year is how do you comp the comp? I mean, that's what everyone's wondering. You got 30% comps at like a Lowe's. How do you do that next year when maybe some of these services are opening up? So that's made us a little bit more cautious, but also very focused on companies that can maybe comp the comp, that have company-specific initiatives that can drive maybe a little bit better sales next year as they go over some just tremendous numbers from 2020.
Now, the government stimulus checks that we had earlier this spring into the summer played a large part in that consumer-focused picture right now. How important is a new round of government stimulus, fiscal action by Congress and the incoming administration, or the current one, for that consumer picture going into 2021?
Well, I know there's certain companies that would really like it to happen, like a Walmart. They're pretty direct in saying we'd like to see it. I mean, there is a huge challenge here. I mean, with the stimulus checks, with the $600 extra unemployment, we're going to go over that. And, there's offsets because people have been saving like crazy. The employment picture has been way better than expected, but it is a challenge. And I think, getting another stimulus bill would certainly help. But, the other thing you got to be a little bit cautious about is, and the Fed's been dying for it, is some inflation, that inflation doesn't run away from us a little bit. Some of these sectors, go try to buy an appliance right now. It's not easy. And so we had some sectors running really hot, especially the housing sector. So, I think stimulus would help kind of come over that big stimulus of last year, but I think it's got to be a little bit more measured in my opinion.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.